Good morning. It's me, Pearl from Pearl and the Prayers, and this is Tuned in Tarot. And we are here to take a look at the balance between the divine masculine and divine feminine sides of self, understanding that whatever state we find this energy in, we can expect to see this reflected back to us in our interactions with others, in our external environment. And if we want to see changes, we need to make changes within ourselves. It's 8:55 on the clock. I am feeling anxiety because I ordered groceries last night that were supposed to arrive between 10 and 12, which made sense last night because I got up in my mind at 5:30, which is when I always get up. But instead, I woke up at 3:30, and so I just took my dog out then because I was like, great, I'm definitely going to need to go back to sleep. And then I did, and now it's late, and now my groceries are going to come probably in the middle of the reading, and I'm stressed. But whatever, we're just going to have to deal with this. It might end up being two parts. I might have to end the stream and start another one. I don't know. Maybe let's just get to the door today. Maybe they will just be able to get into my building today. Wouldn't that be nice? All right, pray for that so that we don't get too grievously interrupted during this broadcast. Okay. We are at the lovely time of the week when for some of us, there is no work on the weekend. So this is like the last day. And for others, we're just really excited to release and rebuild things in our lives. So that's what we're going to do today. And I actually have a private release and rebuild reading coming up as well. So this is going to be a big day for that. I hope y'all did your new moon intentions last night. If you didn't, don't fret, you can still do them. Good morning, sunshine. Oh, cool. Sunshine's saying, I have to tell you something. I rewatched the reading you did for me on the 25th. You pulled the coyote spirit, and on Halloween, I saw a coyote. Look at that. Very interesting. If you want a personal reading, go to pearlsprayers.com, click on booking. There's all different types of reading, including this type of reading, which I forgot to put in the description. Maybe I'll remember later. Maybe not. Okay, let's get started. This is always a 2-hour reading, so I'm just like getting ready for that. Then I see the card. I want to die. Okay. All right. The theme for today. Now, I just did a reading for somebody, and when I did this card, I explained it really well, and I was like, God, I got to remember how I said that. So I hope I can remember how I articulated this card. I've been pulling these big ass, look at how big this shit is. This is the size of my face. Shuffling these things is just intense. It's a super heavy deck. And it's a weighty deck. And I use it for weighty issues, big things, big themes. It just has that feeling. This is the Aleister Crowley Thoth Tarot. And I've been wanting for us, when we start the beginning of the reading, to hone in on the theme. And what that means is, when we come here, a lot of times we want the messages to say what we want them to mean, right? We want to find out that we're coming into union, we're going to reunite, and that's for the highest good of all. But I want us to focus on what will be for the highest good of all according to spirit. What spirit wants you to learn from this current situation, from the messages you get today, whatever. Now, that can be any card. It can be the 10 of Swords, which is about being in separation. And that means that the current separation is for the good of all, and we're learning about separation. Or for the person I pulled today, the disappointment, 5 of Cups, learning about our expectations being disappointed and the process of pessimism and optimism and how that plays a role in our manifestations. That's for the highest good of all. Today, what will be for the highest good of all is the 4 of Wands, or completion. So normally this is what our ego desires, that we're going to come here and that these messages are going to teach us what we want, which is how to come into this sacred union. Okay. This is the theme for the week. So this is a 7-day time span. And what will benefit us is, as we walk away from these messages, is that we understand that the messages are meant to bring us into spiritual and physical union with our counterpart. In this case, this is a twin flame card. So the divine counterpart energy. which can, of course, be reflected in every person. But for the twin flame community, we feel there is one in particular person who reflects that back to us as a mirror exactly. Okay. So today, these messages are meant for us to come into union. And I rarely have the pleasure of pulling this card for this position so far that I've been doing it, which has been for a few weeks. So this is what our ego wants, and this will be for the highest good of all in this case. This is also about learning solid foundations in relationships based on our own strength of spirit, not our self-esteem, etc., etc. Okay, let us get started with removing obstacles. We have for the feminine side of self. Now, this doesn't mean just if you're a feminine, if you identify as a feminine gender, that this is only about you. This means that the feminine energy that your person has is reflected back to you as well. So you'll get information about your person here from this side or vice versa on the other side. So the general energy surrounding what needs to be released. So this is the Empress spread. So we're helping her release something, okay? The general energy surrounding what needs to be released is the Queen of Swords in reverse from the Muse Tarot and the Strength card in reverse from the Crow Tarot. So someone's not happy. Someone's being kind of feisty, a little bit mean, maybe even kind of a bitch. It's okay. What Divine Feminine, what's the energy surrounding what she needs to release? It's causing her to go into this incredibly defensive and cutting energy. And, you know, just I was listening to my favorite reader this morning in the wee hours of the morning as I was trying to decide whether to go back to sleep or just get up. And she was saying all these, like, I can't even remember what she was saying. She was like, Divine Masculine will do that. And I was like saying all this really pessimistic shit, like, and like after her I'd be like, or this, or not likely, or probably not, or never gonna happen. And I was like knowing that that energy keeps me stuck, but also just being like, I don't fucking care. Like, I don't care, because I feel so much frustration and my ego feels so butt sore. Okay. This is also about overthinking the ego's desires. And she could also be thinking constantly about the strength of the connection. For instance, if we just took a little, I don't know, microscope and looked inside of my brain at the chemistry that's going on in there, the thoughts are all like, well, I know we have an eternal connection, but at this point, I don't know how long it's going to take for this person to actually be able to be healed enough to actually treat me with any kind of respect. And I do have compassion for the situation, but at the same time, like, I really need to do things for myself, and I need to have compassion for myself. And there's, you know, this person that I want to see tonight, and like, maybe something will happen, but maybe something won't happen with that person. And then if it does, maybe it's going to affect the eternal connection that I have with this other person. But then if that person comes back, I'm going to be so annoyed because, like, oh my God. Shh. Okay. That's the general energy surrounding. The ego is afraid. It's kicking and screaming. It's angry. It's childish. The Queen of Swords side of self is like, seriously, like, cut it out to yourself. You're like, cut it out. But at the same time, you're like, this person is making me feel this way. So, okay. I'm going to give you the hidden assistance. You have hidden assistance in releasing. What it is the Death card in the headspace. This is the transformation energy. This is the end, and the end heralds a new beginning. And in the heart space, you have the Two of Cups. What you don't know is that the end of this relationship is helping you. this not being physically together, this is what is helping you. How is it helping you? Well, does this look like good news to you? It doesn't look like good news to me. So I feel like if we are in a situation where somebody triggers us into this energy, then not being with that person right now so that we can get this sorted out is going to help us release this type of reactive behavior that we have when we don't get our way. Because that's what those cards are about. The Queen of Swords in reverse and Strength in reverse is like, you didn't do what I wanted you to do when I wanted you to do it. Now, there are some justifiable things in there to make you angry. For instance, you didn't respect me. You didn't honor me. You didn't prioritize me. You didn't communicate with me. Justifiably upsetting. But guess what should happen? Hey, I have some basic needs that I have to have met because, number one, I meet them for myself. So, bare minimum here, it's got to be reflected back what I'm doing for myself. If you're not meeting your own needs, you need to fix that. But in the case that you are, you're like, all right, so listen, here's how it is. I would need from you communication regularly, consistently. I would need texts. I would need calls. I would need to be knowing what's going on in our lives. I would need to be included in decisions, especially decisions to end things or begin things. I would really need to see that you have a lot of respect for me to consider being in a physical relationship with you. This isn't personal because I absolutely love you so much and think you're an incredible person. And I have infinite compassion for whatever it is you're going through that is blocking you from being able to receive love, because I've been there and I understand how that feels. I'm not mad. I'm frustrated that I can't get the situation to work out, but I know that's not my job. Wow. That's a completely different energy. Let's say you're receiving that energy. Hey, I love you so much, but I just need a bare minimum here. And I know that you can't give that to me right now because of your situation. That's okay. At this time, though, I'm going to have to completely let you go because I need to still have friends, relationships, sex, and I can't have those things if I'm clinging to you. I know that probably hurts you and wounds your ego because it definitely hurts me when I think about you with other people. But that's one of the reasons why I have to let you go. Imagine you're a masculine energy receiving that versus you said you were going to come and you don't come and you have all this other energy around you and you won't choose me and I don't understand why you won't prioritize me and I'm incredibly jealous of the people that get to spend time with you and so I think they all fucking suck and I hate them. That's warm. The other situation is really the same. Still on the end of the stick where it's over. It's all over. But it's all over because the feminine feels she can't tolerate the conditions, not because she finds you as a person intolerable. The conditions aren't tolerable. And it's not a personal thing. And the feminine needs to think about that in regards to her own energy. Okay. What past experience do I need to release? Don't shoot me. Here is the Wheel of Fortune and the Nine of Pentacles in reverse, which is about being attached to one specific person who you're feeling is your reward for all the hard work that you've done. And in reverse, this is also about being single, being on your own. In reverse, it's about not engaging in that energy, not being actually available, not being independent, right? You need to release the frustration and anger you have over the time it's taking for you to achieve your reward for the work that you've done. and to acknowledge that one of the reasons that you aren't able to receive a reward is because you've been too attached to what it looks like on the outside. And if it doesn't look exactly like you think it's supposed to, your ego takes over and causes you to go into super bitch mode. I should also emphasize that we just had the Scorpio new moon here, and the hidden assistance is coming from this card. I feel there's been release energy, and you can still use the release of the Scorpio full moon to, or not the Scorpio, there was new moon, but you can use the release of the next full moon to enhance this process when we go into that cycle. So you're releasing the attachment also to the timeline. What if I told you that you need to have another life before you can be with this person? And I don't even mean like you need to like die from this vessel and be born into another vessel. I've lived multiple lives in my life. I don't know if you have. I'm 40. So I had a marriage when I was 23 and a child at 25 and a divorce 7 years later, whatever age I was then. And this whole other life in Los Angeles. So there might be some of you, especially, and I got to tell you, there's people that hop on my TikToks or in my, YouTube, and they're like, oh, Divine Masculine broke up with me and we've been separated for 2 months. And I'm like, do I break it to them now? Or do I let them find out that the likelihood that you're going to reunite for your final sacred union under, I want to say, a decade? I don't know. I know takes a lot of time to learn the lessons that you need to learn when you awaken to the twin. So what if it's going to be a decade? Are you not going to date anyone? I didn't. Not really. Would I go back and date other people? Maybe. Maybe I would learn my lessons faster because I wouldn't have just been waiting in this holding pattern for so long. I don't know. I don't have regrets really because I know that things happen for a reason. But if I were getting advice about my twin flame journey 10 years ago and somebody was like, listen, kid, it's probably going to be another decade before you see any kind of movement. And maybe even then you still won't, because guess what? I'm still not in union. I might have been like, I think I'm going to go on Tinder and just really look for somebody, because that would have seemed like really too long to wait. It is. It's too long to wait to be alive. So I feel like Divine Feminine needs to release her attachment to when it's going to happen and continue to live her life right now. Because if you are living in the pattern of waiting for somebody, then you are waiting for somebody, and that is your life, right? If time is not linear, and it isn't, and all time exists at one time, which it does, the version of you that is in sacred union, which is the theme of this reading, exists somewhere. If you're focused on the version of you that is in separation, that's the version that exists. If you're focused on the one that feels the feelings that you will have in union with your person, and you can achieve that level with your person. I haven't even had any sacred sexual encounters since I've learned about the existence of that thing, of sacred sexual encounters. I've never had that in my whole life. Am I going to just wait for this person to experience that? Or am I going to welcome sacred sexual union with a healthy, healed partner now? Because how can I get to this place with my person if I'm never open to having sex? I can't. So you have to be in the state of openness and willingness to come into union that you would be in if your person were here now. Okay? What can I do right now to soothe myself? Hey, when the cards just say exactly what I just said. This is the Hermit in reverse. This is stop being alone. And this is the Hierophant upright, which is like actually learn the lessons that you need to learn by going into sacred union. Okay? Sacred union happens in self, and it's reflected back to you with the appropriate counterpart energy. There is a twin we feel is the right one, the one that we want to be with forever. We have been schooled before that that is a myth that teaches little girls to be virgins, slutty virgins, because that's the juxtaposition that we have to uphold until we marry the one person who will then own us, and we won't be able to use our credit cards without their permission. Wow. No, there's not one person. You can experience sacred union instantly in this moment. And with every person that you communicate with, because it's not, I'm not saying sacred sexual union, although technically we are all capable of doing that as well. However, there are some people that we have intimacy blocks with appropriately for genetic reasons and all kinds of things. Regardless, if you don't go into any sacred unions, if you're just on your own and you're not learning this lesson, then you're going to be on your own, not learning the lesson. So you seek marriage, you seek commitment, you seek, and that's what you've been searching for. That's what you've been journeying for. Well, there's a person that you can, oh no, I'm seeing me knowing him for only a year. Yeah, babes. I don't know. I mean, I am not an official person about the twin flame journey because there's no one. There's not a single one. There are people who I feel intuitively have the same kind of knowing that I have, and I trust that those messages I get. But in my experience, it seems like the twin flame dynamic is meant to prepare us for sacred union with anyone. And it takes quite a while for us to grow into that ascended version. It doesn't mean we don't get to experience relationships unless we choose that, right? Now, there were times when I tried to see people and it didn't work out. Why? Because I was unhealed. I chose people that were just like my twin, emotionally unavailable, really good people, but they couldn't communicate, or they had a rigid belief system that wouldn't allow them to be with someone like me, or they cared about their appearance, or, like I'm bisexual, it would be a woman who wasn't comfortable with her sexuality, so she couldn't be open, and I would have to be hidden in a secret, right? So it's like you feel despair when you hear me say, you're probably not going to be with this person for 10 years. And I get it. I get why that might be a feeling of despair. But the truth is, during that time, the gift that you have, especially if you learn, I didn't learn any of this stuff 10 years ago. I don't know. Maybe I would have come into union faster because I wouldn't have been like bumbling around trying to figure this out for myself. My sister's 10 years younger than me, and she's learned from my experiences. And I think that she approaches her relationships differently than I ever did in my early 30s. And I just feel like, there's a chance that you could have accelerated growth, especially because we're entering into the age of Aquarius. So don't despair about the timeline. But understand that it doesn't matter when you come into physical union. You'll never have another experience like this because you have a telepathic soul connection to this person, and you will always have that. But it doesn't mean that you won't have other really great connected relationships with people, or that you don't have other soulmates who are waiting to have a similar experience with you. Okay, the next position is, what can I expect to encounter as I make space for new energy? All right, so I allowed overthinking today for both of the twins. Usually we only get 2 cards per position, but in the headspace, oh my God. I can't believe this reading today. Holy shit. Okay. What did I just say? Because I lost my train of thought. What can I expect to encounter as I make space for new energy? I got the Four of Wands again, and the only reason I'm shocked is because I already see the Four of Wands, which means now there's 3 of the 3 decks that I have shuffled and can see producing the Four of Wands. If this comes out again, I'm good. It's crazy town, okay? But the Four of Wands and then the Two of Cups, which we already just saw over here. Because why? Because union. Maybe you are going to come into union after only knowing him for a year, Elizabeth. Like, I have no fucking idea. And then the Ace of Wands here. Okay, so let me ground myself. What you can expect to encounter as you make space for new energy is the ability to work on these commitment issues that you have, that you project onto your masculine energy, although it's shared. And it might be, you might be like, no, I would be fully committed to being with this person for my whole life. And I'm like, okay, cool. That's great. You probably will be. Are you committed to loving yourself? Are you committed to whatever passion you have to pursue in your career? Are you committed to always honoring, respecting, obeying your own needs? Oh, you're not? Okay, so you're probably still going to be working on that, but you're going to be able to enter into other relationships potentially that will allow you to work on these commitment issues. That's one of the potential. Remember, this is a collective reading, so I'm covering a bunch of different people. There's some people who have only known their twin for a year. There's some people who have known their twin for 13 to 25 years. I have somebody who told me they have known their twin and had this situation going on for 27 years. So that's the highest number I've seen so far. So we're all at different points of this journey. We all come together at different times, and we all have different experiences from the point of origin to the point of completion. So for some, you might be making space to have love relationships, to have physical union, to have what you desire, and to work on your commitment issues with other opportunities because you've let this one go. Remember, there's also those of us here who awaken to, it's 9:22 on the clock, who awaken to a twin flame journey with a person who is really more of a catalyst, not their twin. So they haven't even actually met their twin yet, or they didn't awaken to who the twin actually is. That's also possible. But you're basically making room to have what you desire, which is to start to date, start to be in physical union, to prepare yourself for sacred union or marriage. Well, so then you might be on 11 years there, because for me, my point of meeting my twin is when we met in person, which was 2008. It was October 8, 2008, exactly 13 years ago. All right. So the next position is, what behaviors have gotten in my way? Oh, you don't say. The 9 of Voices and the 6 of Swords. Every time I get freaked out, I leave. I run away. I just wrote the song that I played yesterday at the end of the video that I went into the studio for on Wednesday, which starts out with me singing, "Heaven help me, I ran away from you." And it's about running away from myself. It's about running away from my masculine. It's about running away from my responsibilities. It's running away from my desires and my passions. It's all those things in one song because that's all those things. So divine feminine, what I see is that you tend to run away from your fears rather than facing them. Your fear is there's no one else. There's not going to be anyone else. There's not going to be any other opportunities for union. There's not going to be any communication. There's not going to be any contact. You're worrying about what you don't want, which of course keeps you on the shore where the struggle and the strife is, even though you feel like you're leaving it, you're not really leaving the swords behind. In the original imagery from this card, the swords are at the front of the boat. They're at the prow of the boat. So the reader, when they see that card, they can either think, okay, they've learned from the swords. They've learned from these thoughts, worries, concerns, fears, anxieties. They've learned lessons, because swords can be about learning our lessons. And they are taking those lessons that they've learned, and it's helping them navigate from where they were to where they want to go. And they don't know where they're going because it's a shore that they've never been to before. So there's an uncertainty there, right? But there's another interpretation that the reader can see, which is that they're taking the struggle and strife with them. So instead of facing their fears, they're running away, but they're taking everything they're fearing with them. Like if your house is haunted by a spirit who has passed, the house has the spirit that's attached to it. But if your house is haunted by a demonic presence, the demonic presence is usually attached to a person. And if you leave the house, you take the demonic attachment with you wherever you go. And this is the behavior that has hurt Divine Feminine. Instead of facing her fear that there might be no one else, which is really nothing to do with the actual relationship that's unfolding, we're seeing her running away from the person because she's like, if it doesn't work with this person, it's likely not going to work with anyone else. But I don't really want to stick around and see if I'm right about that. So I'm just going to do what I can to block this person. Remember, your masculine is doing this too. Don't forget, we're on the feminine side, but your person is doing this too, right? Rather than stick around and see if this is going to be true, if all my fears are going to be true, I'm just going to run away. This is avoidant, anxious attachment patterning, right? So this has been the behavior that has really held you back. What can I do now to avoid this? Knight of Pentacles upright and the 8 of Pentacles in reverse. Very interesting. Trust in the slow and steady movement and release the desire to focus on the material, the present, and your career and job and money, rather than doing the hard work you need to do on yourself that you're avoiding by running away instead of facing your fears. If you fear that someone is not going to choose you, then you probably have issues of worthiness, or you probably aren't choosing yourself in a lot of situations. How does this play out in twin flame dynamic? Perfect example. My twin does not have the ability or capacity, I don't know, to choose me. There is something that is holding my twin back. My fear would say, it's because you're fat. It's definitely because of your body. I mean, if you were skinny, probably he would have chosen you, because of my 7,000 followers on TikTok, almost 8,000 followers on TikTok. I'm sure all of them are not, skinny. That's just some fucking fear that I have that I carry from childhood. If you were skinny, do it. You know what? It's possible that the person that I'm focused on carries that fear that he can't choose me because of my fear that I carry and reflects it back to me. But the wound isn't my masculine's wound. It's mine. And I have to heal that wound and be like, what? Think about your person, okay? Conjure the person in your mind right now. Just think about them. Now, imagine all your friends, okay? You have a lot of friends, hopefully. Maybe you don't. Imagine people in your life who have all different people, okay? Take your person, a picture of your person, the hottest picture you have of your person, and show it to every single one of those people. And be like, isn't my person hot? I guarantee you that most of them will be like, yeah, it's cool. It's cute. Yeah, it's cute. Maybe some of them will be like, damn, he's fine. But you're probably going to be like, yeah. Why? Why won't they all be like, oh my God? Because they all have different standards of beauty. They all have different ideas of what is attractive. And you see your person through the eyes of Source. So your person is the hottest person alive because that is how Source sees you. And that's why you're called to see the person that way. So when I take the logic of that and I face my fear, I'm like, the odds that my person doesn't think I'm fucking smoking hot, doesn't love my thick thighs and my juicy ass and my squishy belly and my, pretty big, luscious rack. Are you kidding? That person is jerking his dick to that right now. I know that. So it's not that, right? You have to face the fears that are your fears, not your person's fears. You have to do the work, and it takes a long time. The whole thing you have to release right now is how long it's going to take to get your reward. Let me tell you how long it's going to take. A long fucking time. Is that okay with you? If it's okay with you, good. You're on the right path. Because if you're chafing against how long it takes, you're watching the pot, right? You're not flowing with it. All right. Now, the final position is, what is growing within me or within this connection as I move on? The Six of Cups upright and the Eight of Wands upright. What is growing within me is a fast-moving energy, an ability to go with the flow, the ability to communicate, to send and receive communication from a past energy, so likely the twin that you're focused on, the bliss fulfillment, the nostalgia and comfort, and the magnetic pull of this past life connection. That's what's available to me. The speed, the timeline picking up, if I can release my need for it to and just slow down and work on myself. For instance, what if your person had to go through a 3-year training program to become an astronaut? And I'm just making this up. And they're required to go to space for a year or something, a whole year. You're with them. You're in a relationship with them. You're already in union. And they're like, I got to go do this. While they're gone, are you going to spend that whole entire year just being like, oh my God, it's been one day and they're not back. Oh my God, it's been 1 day and 2.5 hours. Oh my God. And even in that situation, like they're going to come back, but you're also like, oh my God, what if they die in space? What if they start having sex with the other people on the spaceship? Like, what if if you don't heal these wounds, you're going to carry the wounds with you no matter how much time passes. So you need to spend the time that you're being given. It's a gift also. You're like, what do you mean? Well, I asked the universe what the hidden assistance was, and the universe was, you want to know what the assistance is? It's a good thing this shit is over for you because you got a lot of stuff to work on. Love you, universe. Okay, let's head over to the divine masculine side of self and see what's happening. Let's see how, okay, I'm doing fine on time. I have so much anxiety about this freaking Amazon delivery. I need my food. I need my groceries. Okay, so this is the general energy for the Emperor side. So we just looked at what the feminine side of self. Now, we didn't look at just the feminine gender. We looked at the energy. So your person has to do the same thing. They are also chafing at the timeline. They are the cause of the timeline in their own minds, okay? So they are needing to forgive themselves for the timeline, things like that. And they have to work on those lessons, work on that forgiveness, and heal those issues and just move slowly and steadily in the direction that they want to go. And as soon as they release their own fears about the timeline, the timeline speeds up and they can come into the union. They can reunite with you. And it's great, right? Okay. So you're both there. So now, as you release this energy, which I know you're going to do, and if you need help with it, we're going to go back and look at the oracles to help you release this focus. Now we're going to use the masculine's superpower of rebuilding. The Empress, her superpower is releasing, right? She nurtures something, she cares for it, and then she goes through the laborious pain of releasing it. And guess what? The feminine energy is the only one strong enough to do that. That's why if a masculine person has an imbalance with a feminine energy that is very repressed, it makes that masculine person weak, because the feminine energy is the strongest energy in terms of enduring pain for transformation. So an imbalanced masculine is going to present as weak, right? So that's why we're balancing the energy inside of us, not emphasizing one more than another. There might be overcorrection that has to happen for the feminine, but we're not overemphasizing. We're not like she needs to rise into a higher role. No, balance must be achieved. And that is what I'm seeing here in this card, which I think is awesome, because the general energy surrounding the rebuilding on the masculine side of self is justice in the heart space and the Three of Swords in reverse in the head space. So there's a clear message here for those of us who have partners who are currently married or were married in the past, or had very long-term commitments, or have children with a partner who they were either married to or not. There were a lot of entanglements, a lot of wounds that were healed. There was painful heartache. There was breakup. There was, right? We saw the Death card. We saw the Two of Cups. We know that these relationships are over. Okay. So for the masculine, that could mean that he released a karmic partner. For you, it can mean you released a karmic partner, somebody that was a catalyst instead of your twin. Or you could have released your twin because your twin couldn't show up and their heartbreak comes from that. Whatever the flowing energies are for you, the outcome of that energy is that now you must rebuild after a time of heartbreak and pain and healing wounds and disentangling ourselves from past connections. We now must balance. Justice is here. And to see the Four of Wands and balance together is, pretty exciting, especially since the hidden, okay, my order's out for delivery. Here we go. See how fast it gets here. The hidden assistance for the masculine energy is the Four of Wands upright and the Two of Pentacles upright. So this is the hidden assistance. What is helping divine masculine to rebuild is choosing to prioritize today's theme, which is for the highest good of all. And I love that they made this Four of Wands look like the Wheel of Fortune and then wrote completion on it, because it's like ending this karmic cycles and coming into the sacred union. So divine masculine's hidden assistance is that he's choosing to focus on the sacred union. This isn't a Nine of Pentacles. This isn't a Queen. This isn't some other feminine energy or even the divine feminine. It is the union between the twins. First position for the masculine is what past experience challenges me in this rebuilding process. Wow. What is this card? It's the Four of Wands. Oh my God. Every deck. Right? Four of Wands. 4 out of 5 decks today. Holy shit. Okay. What past experience challenges divine masculine in this rebuilding process? Here it is. And it couldn't be clearer for some of us, for me, for some of us that have the exact same story as me. Father of Cups in reverse. This is somebody who is probably a father with children, could be potentially. Definitely somebody who's incredibly silent, withholding, and doesn't communicate very well. Although they are a very good person and they have really loving feelings, they're a great father, but they have a hard time with expressing. This is emotional overwhelmment with expressing love. And it is also issues with drinking. Coming out with the Ace of Pentacles in reverse, this is about withholding this offer of prosperity, love, abundance, everything that this Father of Cups energy would like to give to the feminine. And it's the Four of Wands in reverse. This can be about the commitment issues that the Divine Masculine has carried with him, probably because he left a past marriage, right? There is this potential that this is somebody who was in a long-term connection and they left the past marriage. The other meaning of this card is the twin flame dynamic. So he has literally just been challenged in being able to communicate or give any offer because of the twin flame dynamic itself. Okay. So let's look at the next position. Also, I love this Wise Dog Tarot, which complements the Crow Tarot, and it was by the same writers. And my friend Cheryl actually got it for me. So, what can I do right now to build my confidence? End the motherfucking separation. Okay? End the painful separation. Right? End the deceit. End the betrayals. End the lies, the secrets, the things that are hidden, and reveal the feminine energy within self and to the world. This is stop betraying the feminine. Stop hiding. Stop keeping secrets. And stop strategizing. Instead of strategizing, just allow the feminine to shine. She's already had her glow up. Just let her shine. It's funny because we often get the Nine of Cups for the Divine Masculine or other cards of selfishness. Honestly, the King of Cups has an energy of selfishness to it. The Divine Masculine hoards his feelings and emotions from the feminine because he hoards the feminine as well. Divine Masculine knows how many people are going to be in competition for this feminine once she truly experiences her full glow up, right? Which comes from sacred union. And there has been this tendency for the masculine who wants to remain loyal to the feminine and wants the feminine to remain loyal, to hide her, to purposefully keep them stuck, his thoughts trapping him where he is, because he fears that as soon as everyone else can see this light, that she will be harder for him to keep. And he doesn't also feel he's going to get away with the pain that he caused her, because this is a feminine who has had to heal. I see this message. How long ago did it start? It started 48 minutes ago. So you might want to head back to the beginning if you want to. But yes, so he wants to get away with the things that he did to try to keep her hidden. And he doesn't feel entirely confident that he's going to be able to get away with the pain that he's caused. But to build his confidence right now, he just needs to end this, end the deceit, end the lies, and the secrets, and just reveal his feminine energy, which would mean communicating his feelings to people around him, telling others, releasing this mask that he wears when people come up to him and are like, hey, how you been? Have you been seeing anybody? I haven't really. I know it's been a while since you had somebody. It's 9:44 on the clock. That's his moment to be like, I got someone special. I'm trying to make it happen. And they're like, oh man, that's great. I'm so glad to hear that. Do I know her? No, but you will. Yeah, it's happening. That is the kind of energy that masculine needs to bring to his conversations. No reason to hide that he loves somebody. No reason to hide that he feels these feelings for somebody. He's been so afraid of this, and he just really needs to let those fears go. What possible future challenges could arise? Oh my God. The Lover's card and the Ten of Swords. Okay. Divine Masculine, and then this is in reverse. It could be challenging to end the separation between them, partially because we are relying on the feminine energy to release her hard boundaries right now that are very protective over her ego. Okay. We could also see he was still carrying fears of betrayal. Like I just said, when everybody can see how fantastic his star is, he already worries about who is around her. He already worries about if she's going to go into other energy, if she's going to sleep with other people, if this, that, and the other thing, right? He's already concerned about that. So we are seeing him feel that in the future, he might have to deal with thoughts, worries, concerns about her betraying him. This is not about him betraying. It's about his fears that she will, because she is so beautiful and admired and has all these people that are probably in his mind better than him, because that's how he usually thinks about himself when we look at it in the cards. So there is concern about the potential betrayal. He doesn't want that to happen. He doesn't want to get stuck moving forward. There is a fear that he won't be able to end the separation, maybe. But I really think that his biggest challenge is that once the separation ends, the feeling of competition doesn't. And he has to continue to maintain a sense of worthiness, or else he will consistently have these insecurities that are common with the King of Cups, that will continue to cause him to act unpredictably, which will cause the feminine to doubt his actions, which will cause those continued patterns that we saw in separation manifesting in union, which is why when you're, chafing at how long it takes, the universe is like, please don't be concerned at how long this takes, because you're either doing this in separation where you have a lot of time and space for yourself and you can really cultivate your own happiness and independence, or you're trying to do that while you're in this situation where someone is making things worse, because now you're experiencing these insecurities in the 3D instead of something that you're just able to kind of work on alone, which is a lot more effective because you'll be working on that person instead of just focused on yourself if you weren't in separation. What past behaviors have destabilized me? We have the Daughter of Swords in reverse and the Six of Cups in reverse. Oh, it's so cute. The Divine Masculine may have a daughter's often comes up in the readings for the masculine. And so I just have to mention that there may be some masculines who have a daughter from a past marriage that doesn't want to see this reunion because it will mean that the reunion that she imagines with her parents won't happen. So I do think that there is that energy in the collective. It doesn't have to be a daughter, it could be a son as well, but just a child who doesn't want to see this reunion because it threatens their fantasy of a reconciliation between the karmic and the divine masculine, or the former soulmate if it was a soulmate and the divine masculine. So there can be that. The other thing that I see is that the divine masculine is, because this is the past behaviors that have destabilized him, this is spying on divine feminine. And this is like the past, the nostalgia. So this is looking for past mistakes, looking for the feminine to screw up the way that other feminines have screwed up with him in the past. And when you look for something, you're going to see it. So he has these beliefs that he carries from his past. And it could be about this particular feminine, like maybe she's done something in her past and he's like, oh, she's going to do that again. And then looking for it, okay, and then trying to see it. The other thing that I'm seeing here is that he has been afraid, because this is also a card about being courageous, being brave enough to face something. Hi, I don't know if you're still here, AJ. I see you saying, can I ask? You can ask clarifying questions about what I'm saying if you have questions about the reading itself, but this is a collective reading, not a personal reading. If you need a personal reading, you can go to pearlsprayers.com and there's personal readings you can book there, or you can try to find me on TikTok. I do lives. I didn't have a chance to yesterday. I apologize. I shall try to do it today, although I have an event tonight, so I'm not sure. But definitely tomorrow I'll be doing TikTok lives for personal questions. But thanks for being here. And I'm sure you'll get your questions answered. That usually happens if you're called here. So not brave enough to actually work up the courage to get to reunite with the feminine. These are all the things that have challenged him. So appeasing a daughter energy or a child energy in regards to maybe even trying to make the relationship with his children's mother work so that he can appease his children and keep his family together. So he might have tried to do that. He could have, again, been just looking for the feminine to fuck up in the way that she did in the past or the way that other feminines have, or he could just be afraid of actually reuniting and just not brave enough to come in for that reunion. What can I do now to avoid this and stabilize? This is the Father of Swords in reverse and the Tower. Divine Masculine, you can release this cold and calculating and conniving strategizing, which is appearing right above us here with that Seven of Swords in the same placement. And you can completely change. This is a dramatic shift. This is also divine intervention. So this is sort of allowing the divine to completely transform your energy so that you're no longer overthinking, strategizing, emotionally detached. You need a complete and total shift into emotional stability. No more emotional detachment. No more cutting yourself off from your feelings, which this is another thing that could come here. Cutting yourself off from your feelings, from your past love, this love that you have for the feminine, cutting that off, which is what the feminine energy is doing, right? She's going into this cold and calculating Queen of Swords energy, which in her action from the masculine side of self is turning into being cold and unbending and calculating and detached from the love she feels for her person. So this person that you're focused on also has to do this. They, in order to be able to stay in this suspension, they have had to detach themselves from how it feels. But they actually need to feel the painful shift. They need to feel this painful transition. You have to feel it to heal it, right? Next position is, what future prospects do I have to look forward to once I rebuild and stabilize? Wow. We have the Son of Pentacles in reverse. This is a Knight of Pentacles energy. The Five of Pentacles and the Queen of Pentacles. So this is no longer withholding the offer, but actually bringing this offer to the feminine and taking her out of the cold, where she's been out of the cold, and actually making her the wife and mother that divine masculine wishes to make her. And this is, I also think, a bit of begging her to accept the offer. I'm like thinking, does he need to beg me? Maybe. Okay, that's Divine Feminine. All right, so we've got your oracles. We're going to do the release and rebuild for your sexual energy, and then we're going to give you all the help we possibly can, okay? So first, here is where you are blocked in your sexual energy. This is sacred sexual union. This can be Kundalini energy, not just sexual energy, but creative energy. But here is where what you need to release. This is the sun in reverse. So you are not able to experience pleasure. Yes, Alisa, I see. Yes, he does need to come forward first. Absolutely. The masculine in this scenario must come forward, because if he does, it's 9:55 on the clock to verify that. If he does not take action himself, he will not feel worthy. That's why if you are a feminine watching this and you are chasing, you are still texting, you're still posting like thirst traps, you're still doing, you got to stop that, because that's pressuring the masculine energy, and you have to trust that they will come forward. So for sure, the masculine has to come forward with the offer. So Divine Feminine, this is where you're blocked in your sexual energy and what you need to release. You are not able to experience your true happiness and fulfillment and pleasure. And here's why. This is what will help you. This is the 7 of Cups in reverse. I love that this is a card about options. And she's like, there's the front door, there's the back door. You got options here. And I love the way that they're portraying this in this deck. This is the Slutist Tarot. It is wonderful. Another deck that Cheryl got me. Incidentally, if you would like to send me a deck, I use all sorts of imagery. I love to have all these different messages come out. You can go to pearlsprayers.com and click send me a deck. And there's an Amazon wish list there. I've got a couple new decks from followers today that I'm using. I appreciate it so much. It saves me money to not have to spend on all these decks, which I really do need to kind of diversify my imagery, make sure I'm representing all cultures and creeds and ideas, and just generating the messages that are important for us all. So if you'd like to help me out, you can go send me a deck at pearlsprayers.com. Divine Feminine, you're not accepting other offers. You're not looking at your other options. Now, there are 2 meanings here. You could be denying yourself the pleasure of being in sacred union with your masculine because you're thinking about other options physically, and it's blocking you from thinking only about your masculine energy. So that could be blocking you from coming into sacred union. For others that are in the part of the journey where they need to go into other unions to learn lessons, or their person is just really unavailable or has not made any kind of gestures towards them, anything all like that, you are limiting your pleasure by not choosing other options. And if you want to expand your pleasure, you need to choose yourself and choose your own needs. Now, the way that I'm relating to this is this option, this other option, the back door, so to speak, not all that titillating for me. Like, I'm usually stimulated because the person is enjoying it, but I'm not feeling a whole lot there. So if I were going to choose an option, it probably wouldn't be that one, right? So it's about choosing yourself, your own pleasure, what you desire, what will make you feel good. Alrighty, let's dig in to your release. How can spirit support you in releasing this frustration, fixation on the timeline for when things will happen for you? All right, here's the light attributes you are currently in that will help you. Number 1, you are in your Samaritan energy. You're no longer exacting appreciation and recognition for the help that you offer. And this, of course, in order for this to work out, these twins have to look into each other's eyes. If they're not looking into each other's eyes, one will drop the other. They won't be able to see each other to be able to connect and to perform this feat, okay? So you're in the light attributes of this, which means that you are looking with the eyes of source at your person, and they are looking back at you with the eyes of source. There is just this stream of unconditional love between you. Now, you might not be physically looking at them, but it doesn't matter because you're no longer exacting that physical recognition or for the help or that you offer. You are simply loving this person because it feels good to do so. It feels better to love them than to be in a place of anger or discontent with them. And they are in that same energy with you. You are also in the light attributes of the angel, which is helping those in need with no expectation of return. Divine Feminine, you have truly ascended into your angelic state, which is the purpose of the twin flame union. It's to show you that you have these God-given abilities of unconditional love. Do you think every human has the capacity for unconditional love? Every human is given the ability to choose that path. But do you think every human is equipped to do so? I'm going to give you a hard no. And I want to say that the same extreme, this is going to sound so cuckoo, but it's the exact opposite. I want you to think right now about the extreme dedication a serial killer has to their mission, okay? Not every person who enjoys committing murder becomes a serial killer. It takes a special breed. But the reason I'm using that is because the path to that opposite end of the spectrum is exactly the same as the path to the angelic spectrum. And I'll tell you why. It comes from childhood trauma. There are those of us who've experienced extreme trauma in childhood, okay? Some of us take that trauma, and because we are called to do so, we learn how to heal. We become angelic. We become earth angels, okay? Others take that trauma and it takes them down a path which is the exact opposite, which is more of a demonic energy, where they are the antithesis of life. If you are wise, you will understand both things must exist because suffering exists and there must be suffering, which is why I can't condemn serial killers to death, although some people can. I cannot because I am angelic and I have unconditional love for those people who I know went through the same experiences as me, but didn't have the light that I had that led me down that one path, or made one choice in their lives that led them down the other path. And I don't fault a person for their choices. It's not my place to judge. So you are an extraordinary individual in the feminine energy, and so is your person. Your person, the twin, maybe not, sometimes we have karmic people or just narcissists or things that lead us to understand the twin, but your true twin is also angelic, and you're both sharing that energy. Divine Feminine, move. We keep getting messages to move our bodies or exercise. I've been walking my dog, but she can't go very far right now because she still needs to get her second vaccination. You'd think I'd know that word real quick off the top of my head right now in this day and age. Anyway, but she needs her second vaccination. So I keep her on a limited area so she's not exposed to a lot of dogs. And I've been just enjoying that, not having to walk so much in my neighborhood because I just don't love it so much. And I need to move more. I can't just walk around my parking lot and call it a day. I need to do some yoga. I need to stretch my body. I might need to move out of my apartment, which I really do need to do. This is Take Action Feminine. This is move in some way. Make a move. Make big moves in your life. If you are making small moves, make big moves. If you want to see your person make big moves, what you making small moves for? Make big moves, right? I should schedule a show. That's my next big move. I need to schedule my show. And thank you, universe, for helping me see beyond the limits of fear. Thank you for expanding my perception so that I can see what is of the highest good. Now, there has been this call that I have had to make us focus on the highest good for each reading, because honestly, that's the only way the messages can come out and be genuinely from spirit. If somebody is giving messages, which I'm seeing this happen a lot on TikTok, and I'm just going to call it out. If you don't know a lot about tarot cards, I would encourage you to learn the basics, because a lot of the TikTok readers I'm seeing are not giving you accurate readings based on the cards that present, which for me would suggest that the messages aren't for the highest good. They will hold up a card that has nothing to do with your person choosing you or reuniting with you or loving you, and they will say that that's what the card means. And I send them, I work with Grace Strega, Sin, on Sundays, and I will send them to each other and be like, how about this one? And I'll be like, excuse me, how do you get union from the 8 of Swords? How is this a card of union? Where is the union in this card? But those people are not interested in the highest good of all. They're interested in not hurting your feelings, or they could be interested in you just clicking, like maybe they did a reading once that showed union and that reading did well, and they keep doing readings like that, or they're receiving messages that aren't truly coming from spirit. It's coming from their ego. I mean, that's the main thing that's happening. And so what you are doing now is you're forming an appreciation. It's 1:11 on my timer here for what is in the highest good of all. And you're thankful for seeing beyond the limits of your fear that keep you feeling like separation is horrible and it's bad. And then starting to be like, you know what? That's just my fear that it's never going to end, that I'm never going to be able to withstand this pain, and that I'm going to be, just suffering forever. It's facing those fears and being like, no, my pain, my suffering, the time it's taking, I am thankful because I understand that this is in the highest good of all. Oh, you're getting this message again. If you get it 2 times, you better listen to it. Strength in reverse. Check yourself before you wreck yourself. That is this card 100. It's like your whole attitude is all wrapped up in your desires. I just saw a meme that said, if you say, I want, like, let's say I want my twin. If you take the I out of it, which is the ego, and the want out of it, which is the desire, you have no attachment. So ponder that Zen saying for the day. If you can do that, let me know. That sounds like it would be very liberating. Okay. Your commitment is being tested, bitch. And you got this freaking, oh my God, dropping everything. You got this 4 of Wands. And I tell you right now, my ego is like, are you telling me that you are offering me this event tonight with this very attractive, talented musician that I want to go hang out with simply to test my commitment to my twin? Because if that is what is going on, I'm very upset with you. It's so annoying. And also, I don't know. We'll see how committed I am after this evening to my twin, who has not spoken to me at all, ever, in a million years. Your commitment is being tested. So you have to figure out, how is your commitment being tested? Is my commitment to my twin being tested? Does that make any sense? You can tell that was my ego. Why would God test my commitment to a human being? No. He's testing my commitment to myself. What is my commitment to myself? When I send a text message, I will receive a response. When I post a sexy picture that somebody watches because they think it's sexy, They will send me the flame emoji because they won't be afraid to let me know that I'm hot. If I don't see those things, then I am violating my commitment to myself to focus on a person who will not reciprocate. So, no, God is not testing my commitment to this person. He's testing my commitment to myself. Will I honor myself? Will I show up? Will I feel my worthiness? Will I make sure the person that I want to see tonight has no opportunities to put me in some kind of a bondage because I'm showing up completely authentic and pretty detached from whether he bites or not? The message today you're getting is from Grasshopper Spirit. Take a leap of faith, Divine Feminine. And then my ego's like, are you sure? Is it hard for you to trust in good fortune because you've been hurt in the past when you took a risk? Staying earthbound does not offer the safety you seek, for that can be found only through trusting that Spirit is always with you and wants the best for you. Your intuition is guidance from Spirit, telling you to let go of your fears and leap into the abundance and good fortune awaiting you. Grasshopper Spirit reminds you that the only way now is to jump forward. Can you be willing to trust the unknown, the great mystery that you can't fully understand? Even if you take the teeniest leap in consciousness to be willing, it's a beautiful beginning. Sure, every leap forward brings a new challenge, but you can handle it with Spirit as your partner, trusting that this new experience will only deepen your life with magic and meaning. Take the leap. I already booked the car service. This bitch is leaping and I'm wearing a hot pink mini dress. So deal with it. Divine Masculine. And Divine Masculine's not here. He's in New York. So he can't come and fuck this up for me at all. Bye. Okay. This is funny. I saw this card yesterday for my friend who I felt called. I texted her, do you want me to unblock you? And she was like, what the fuck? Absolutely. Like, how did you know? And I'm like, I don't know. I'm psychic. Like, so I called her and this came up for her yesterday. And the eagle also came out in yesterday's reading, which I did. What did I do yesterday? Oh, it was the new moon intentions thingy. Oh my God. Oh my God. Throwing this everywhere. Calm down. Okay, this is 42, the answer to the universe. And again, if you don't know that reference, I'm sorry for you. Okay. 42. And it says, Divine Feminine, cultivate confidence in yourself. You have the inner spiritual power to deal wisely and effectively with any situation. Don't allow anyone to take advantage of your kind nature. Reflect upon what action feels best for you to take and then follow through with decisiveness. Do not allow negativity to get a grip in your life. Positive energy and outcomes are indicated. Garuda has the mystical power to grow or shrink depending on what is needed to accomplish his heroic tasks. By becoming large enough to block the sun and cause thunderstorms just by flapping his wings, to becoming small enough to hide in a crevice to craftily avoid capture, Garuda teaches us when to step up and shine bright and bold, and when to fly under the proverbial radar. The oracle of Garuda Suparna is a talisman of divine protection and soul strategy. Garuda Suparna is a wild spirit, free and instinctive. His is the wisdom and empowerment needed to rise above negativity, not from avoidance, right? Not from running away with that 6 of Swords energy from the 9 of Swords, but from a place of wisdom and clarity. This oracle guides you to rely on your instincts and be true to your heart. In doing so, you may not always look like a perfect person from the outside, but you are proceeding in resonance with your own heart wisdom. Gorgeous deck. I highly recommend it. Elena Fairchild, White Light Oracle. Super beautiful. And a gift from Amber. Thank you so much. Alrighty, let's go to the final theme for feminine, which is this. Hey, guess what, feminine? This is what you need to work on this week for the release and rebuild process as you focus on this overarching theme of sacred union the Ace of Pentacles. This is the offer, but it's yours. It's on your side. It's what you bring to the table. I'm seeing a feather. I wish I could turn my camera, but it's not that type of camera. In the sky outside, I just saw a single feather falling against a blue sky, which is a very angelic type of a message, and it was slowly floating down, okay? You have so much, which is why you have not been satisfied with so little. And for the divine masculine to ever bring you an offer that matches, you must know the value of the offer that you possess. And one of the ways to learn that value is to take the leap into other connections at this time if your person is not budgeting. That will also teach your value to your person, because they're also dealing with their ego. So their ego is not going to like sharing a possession, even though you are not a possession. All right. Divine masculine, let's get to it. What you need to release in order to come into sacred sexual union is interesting. It is the Two of Cups. There could be a physical relationship that you are engaging in right now that is blocking you from coming forward to your feminine. It could also be some of your fears just about the physical experience itself with the feminine energy, if that doesn't resonate with you, that you have other energy right now around you. And the thing that will help you release it is, I shit you not, the Strength card in reverse. I really see that your ego likes to have girls around you. You might not even be engaging with them physically. I'm feeling a lot of masculine energy is not doing that. But really liking the attention of the physical proximity of these girls. And it is all about your ego. And you're pissing off the feminine energy, which also feeds your ego, by the way. Did you think of that, actually, feminine? Because my ego is like, wait, what now did you just say, spirit? That when I am angry and jealous because my masculine is around all these other dumb bitches and I'm totally being in my ego right now and saying that he literally is enjoying the fact that I'm like, well, fuck you then, because, well, fuck you then. I'm going to add another layer of that, right? My ego is like, ready to go. Like, you son of a bitch. Oh, my order will be delivered soon. I'm probably going to have to stop the reading and do a part 2 with the final oracles. I apologize. Either that, or I can run downstairs and we can see what Bowie does when I'm not in the apartment, which would be kind of interesting. Maybe I'll just leave it on and then you guys can see what Bowie does when I'm gone. Anyway, so we have also, there's the potential that someone will open the door and I won't need to go down. That's another thing we can hope for. I'll still have to get them at the door, but that'll be easier. Okay. So divine masculine needs to release these egoic, karmic, physical interactions, whether he's engaging in sexual interactions or whether he's just enjoying the proximity of admirers. It's blocking him from sacred sexual union. Engaging in this like ego stroking business is blocking him from the real McCoy. And you know, this short-term sexual gratification ain't got nothing on what comes from sacred sexual union. Have y'all ever had a Kundalini experience? I got to tell you, I've had solo Kundalini experiences that have been mind-blowing, way better than any physical experiences I've ever had with any other being. And I've had some pretty good ones with other, I would say, like very satisfying or pleasurable experiences. So this divine masculine is really selling himself short by like engaging in this surface level, shallow dick stroking. You are in the light attributes right now of the advocate, which is inspiring you to put compassion to action. Now, I keep hearing this coming up for masculine energy from other readers. I watched Meredithia Crystals and Minerals. I watched Queen of Light 1111, but sometimes I can't watch because she's definitely got issues with her person cheating, and there's a lot of karmic stuff that comes up in her readings, and I'll be like, okay, it's not just the person. But I see a lot of compassion cards coming out. And in my own readings, this need for compassion is happening. So we're seeing the masculine putting this compassion into action. He's starting to hear the feminine, hear what she's saying, believe her, believe the pain that he's caused her, feel the feelings of causing her that pain. He's experiencing some of the pain now himself. For the longest time, feminine was giving. And then a month or so ago, we saw her cut off the supply. Now, for the people that were with narcissists who were not their twin, those people are probably really suffering because their supply is gone, and they've probably chosen someone else for a new supply. That's very common with narcissists. The twin is unlikely to choose another person. They might be surrounding themselves with ego pleasing kind of individuals, but they're not trying to go into another relationship. They're not actually seeking a supply from any of those surface level connections other than just like, you know, maybe some like gratifications, like, but it's not really any depth of connection. They're not looking for another person to fall in love with or to fall in love with them. Their guardian angel is here to support you right now in sweetness. This is needing to be sweet. Now, if you're putting your compassion into action, you're bringing this dear energy, this tiptoeing, gentle, like, you know, just being careful around the feminine right now. Don't want to ruffle any feathers. Kind of sweet as pie. This is highly recommended. You better be sweet to me. That's all I can say. Attack, pain, fear, judgment, and any form of separation are merely calls for help. Divine masculine, you really have a hard time with this lesson. It's coming out in reverse because it's something that you're resisting. It's 10:22 on the clock. You resist separation. You don't look at it as a call for help. You do the avoidance thing, right? You're like, this hurts. I'm frightened. I'm scared. I don't like it. So I'm just going to not touch that. That doesn't seem that good for me. Instead of recognizing that you're getting all of these feelings because some part of you is like, help me, help heal this so that I can stop having this experience because I fear it. And then it keeps manifesting. So please help me. Blessings and beauty. And I see here the divine feminine embracing this blessing of her role. She's got a mirror up here. This is the only way we can see her face is through this mirror. So really having a sense of gratitude for the blessing of the feminine, showing you your inner feminine, showing you how to love, showing you how to connect to those emotions, to be able to withstand the pain of childbirth, of laboring something into being. Like you've learned all of this from the feminine energy. Also, masculine is feeling so blessed by how beautiful his feminine is to him, right? This is the beautiful countering energy that I would have when I talked about my fear that maybe my divine masculine isn't with me because my body is fat, because I have fat on my body. This is my masculine being like, what are you talking about, you beautiful goddess? I am blessed to have you admire me as much as I admire you. That I don't even believe that in a way. This also came up in the Queen 1111's reading. And she said it like 4 times today when I was listening to it. Your hard wall. The next card I cannot. Your hard work is paying off, and it came out with my favorite. If y'all know me, if you've been here for a minute, if you know my story, then seeing this blue moon card always is just a slap right across my face. Like, wake up, it's real. Because this card says, believe in the impossible. My twin flame journey, it didn't start with this song, but I think that it was catalyzed by a song that I wrote called 21 Days in a Blue Moon. And so when I see this card, for me, it's so significant. And it's saying right now to the masculine energy, your hard work is paying off. If you can believe this, because you believe it's impossible that you could have what you desire, but your hard work is paying off. You just have to believe that, masculine. It's hard for you to see it right now, but you need to believe it. And anytime I see that card come up for me, and I'm thinking, if my masculine watches this and that card comes up, that's been twice on his side. So love that for us. He's also getting chameleon spirit, which says, act as if. Chameleon spirit shares her gift with you today to prepare you for changes that will greatly benefit you. Outer conditions are changing, and you're required to come into harmony with them so you can co-create your greatest dream. Feeling sensitive? Good, because that will come in handy, enabling you to determine how best to adapt to your environment and the people in it, while at the same time maintaining your integrity and inner equilibrium. Even if you feel like you're in uncharted territory, Chameleon Spirit has complete faith in your ability to fit in and learn the lay of the land, adapting as necessary. This is a fortunate time to act as if and do as others do, until the new ways feel familiar and completely natural. Life is offering you a great lesson now. Adapting isn't about losing yourself. It's about learning how to dance with others. So, oh my God. I just keep getting these repeat cards. It's so weird. But this chameleon spirit for the masculine energy, you don't have to know exactly how to be completely emotionally developed and act that way. But acting not that way is definitely not how you learn how to act that way. So start to do the things that you believe are impossible for you. You see people in healthy relationships, you see people communicating, you see people coming into union, you see people, those things seem impossible to you. You are so hard on yourself, you don't feel that the work that you've done is actually paying off. How can that be true? For my masculine that's watching me, who's seen me progress to the point that I'm at now, is there not an awareness there that that masculine energy must have shifted within me in order for me to be like this? So for my masculine, if my masculine believes that he's my twin, then that hard work must be paying off for him as well. He needs to embrace that. This was the card that I pulled for the Tell Me Everything spread I did before this reading. I had a personal reading for someone, and I recorded it before this, and this was the healing medicine that came out for them. This is Shakira, which is a Hebrew energy, and it is number 6, which is the lovers in terms of the numerology. It says, the spiritual worlds want to help you resolve your worldly concerns. It is safe for you to rely on spirit as a loving, protective, helpful, and practical presence able to positively affect all areas of your life, including facilitating the resolution of physical problems. Do not limit your spirituality to concepts. Instead, apply your higher knowledge and principles, grow your wisdom, and live your path. Acknowledge your value as a person, as a soul, treasure the gift of your path, and let your spirituality integrate with all facets of your life. Wow. So this oracle suggests a matter of material or physical concern can be touched and healed by spirit. Look at that. This is really incredible. So divine masculine is having a hard time believing in the impossible, right? And he's told he needs to act as if the impossible were true. And then this is the card that's saying, I will do the impossible. The spirit right now is saying to masculine, don't worry, I'm actually going to intervene here. And to prove that, here's your theme, masculine energy, for this week. The Tower. And you got the Tower in what would help you feel more confident. What would help you feel more confident is if the divine intervenes on your behalf to heal these wounds that have caused you to be in this energy. Now, towers are uncomfortable. They are not about being comfortable because they are about getting you to shift out of your comfort zone where you have stayed masculine because you've been afraid to move on your own. The divine is telling you to hang on because you're about to experience a massive shift that is going to help you release everything that you've been holding on to so that you can come into the theme of today's reading, sacred union. But you must believe in the impossible in order for the universe to intervene. If you want the sacred union, believe in the impossible. All right, let's finish up this reading. Please go to pearlsprayers.com, click on support to send me a gratuity for the reading. If you've gotten a lot of help from this reading, don't think that other people are doing this so that you don't have to. I do need to receive support from these free readings. $1, $5, $10, whatever you can give, that really helps me. Every little bit counts. And of course, booking a reading is a really great way to support me as well. And then I can give you personal insight since this is just collective. Although my goal is to not do extended readings. Somebody suggested I do extended readings, and I don't want to do that for some reason. She said it's because I'm resisting abundance. And I just have this feeling that I'm supposed to give healing and that if I believe that people will support me, they will. So I believe that you will help me today. Either send me a deck, going to listen to my music, following me, sharing my messages, and recommending me to others. That will really help me so that I can keep my readings completely free for you, which I want to do because as a person who has experienced poverty consciousness throughout my life and had times when I needed guidance and help and healing and didn't have the ability to financially get that guidance and help and healing, I would like to keep offering a service for people that are in that state because I think you are worthy of healing. You don't need to pay me to receive your complete reading. But in order for that to be true, those of you that can help, please do. All right, let's complete this crazy ass reading today with the final cards. This is what is so interesting. What is blocking or what needs to be released in order for the union to come into sacred sexual union? We have the Lovers. And what will help is the King of Wands. So if there are other parties involved, those other parties need to be released in order for the masculine energy to take action. So if I'm going to go out tonight and start a new relationship, I will have to embrace the fact that if I carry that lover with me, my sacred union with my masculine will likely not happen at this time because you will not feel confident to take action if I'm in another connection. Now, does that mean I won't start another connection? I don't know because I may need to go into another connection at this time to learn something that I'm not able to learn with my masculine because he won't engage with me. So I'm sort of, it's 10:33 on the clock. I'm sort of in this position where there are things I know I need to learn in a relationship that I can't learn on my own anymore. And I'm forced to make this choice. I may need to go into another connection and take action to have sacred sexual union with someone else so that I can honor my commitment to myself to be in a union with a person who is receptive and open and communicative and pursuing, right? Wow. You are both in the light attributes of the gambler. This is a willingness to follow intuition even when others doubt you. This is the Fool energy, just to take the leap. And it's not relying on luck rather than hard work. It's doing the work and trusting that when you leap, you're supported. So I know, because I trust the divine, that if I'm meant to go into another relationship and it happens, it will be divinely protected. My relationship with my twin will be protected during that time, and the person that I'm with will be protected divinely. I'm trusting that because I know that God doesn't put love in front of me if not to experience it, okay? And here is God with love for the union. Now, this is also, if my masculine energy were to take some kind of an action to communicate his desire to come into sacred union with me, even if he's in another city and can't do it, if I just know that that's what he desires when he gets home, then I will take the leap into this loving connection with them. But if that doesn't happen, that means the person I'm focused on is not where I'm at, because I'm ready to take the leap. If that person's not ready, then I'm going to be with the person who takes the leap today, right? I'm going to take the leap with whoever's willing to take the leap with me. To the twins, this reading is crazy today. The moment I realign with love, clear direction is presented to me, right? As long as I am in a loving place for my person that I'm focused on, and I'm aligned with that. If I'm trying to get vengeance against that person by just being with someone else, that's not in alignment. As long as I'm sending love and compassion for how difficult it will be to know that he has to do this healing while I experience other things. I had the same experience. I had to heal my ego while I watched him experience other energy. That was how I learned what I needed to learn. If I embrace that I am doing what I need for myself, for my commitment to my sacred union and self, and that is healing me, then I will trust that I'm aligned with love and the best possible outcome. This clear direction will be presented to me and to my twin. This is the Strength card in reverse again, which means it came out like 5 times or something. So face the challenge of this egoic energy that has a lot of control over your decisions. It is like a self-driving car with a broken GPS and an arrogance that the universe doesn't know what is best for you. Release your fears and be brave and plow forward. Your dreams need a practical plan right now, okay? So whatever it is that you're dreaming about, you need to actually do it. It can't just be, oh, maybe I'll do this and then I'll do that and the other thing. It's, I need to do X, Y, and Z to achieve this. And if I don't do X, Y, and Z, I will not achieve it. And then take the steps, however small, to do so. We're getting Peacock Spirit. Let it shine. This is 46. And it says, it was the protection message, I think came out in reverse. Are you afraid of dancing with abandon because of what others might think? There's the ego. Do you think you may be punished if you shine too brightly, divine feminine, or divine masculine in this case? Have you been conditioned to expect to be hurt if you show yourself fully to the world? Maybe not everyone will celebrate your beautiful radiance when you shine. That's okay. Peacock Spirit is here to remind you that while others may resist celebrating the beauty within them, although they may contract while you expand and shake your tail feathers, smile and keep dancing anyway. Model the good fortune and abundant joy that is yours, and soon someone will say, "Me too," and join you. Spirit loves you so much and wants you to enjoy the dance and shine your light. And then we are receiving for our healing card, Cupio Dissolvi, which is the number 2 card. Ooh. It is time to let go. Things are working out in their own way. Trust that your heart is wise and is leading you on a soul healing journey and the right spiritual path. Spirit wants to bring you a blessing and a resolution, but you must let go and allow it to happen. Events are unfolding according to a higher plan. Even if your plans are going awry, know that all will come together at the right time and in the best way possible. Surrender your struggle and hold on to your faith. Trust in spirit. Let go and receive. A beautiful and uplifting outcome is being offered to you. Trust. I'm going to trust that whatever I do today is bringing me into union with my twin, period. Whether it's to have a good time tonight or go home by myself, I know that whatever is happening, I'm going to let go and I'm going to understand that it is bringing me into union with my person. This is the theme for this week. It is lust. And I got this before and told you incorrectly that I thought it was the devil card. And then I realized there is actually a devil card in the Thoth Tarot. So it is not the devil card. It is something else. Let me look at what it is. It's 11. Oh my God, it's the fucking strength card. It says courage, strength, energy, use of magical power, control the life force, great love affair, and resorting to magic. Your theme for this week, and I just want to say triumphantly, finish the reading before my Bristol Farms order was delivered. Yes. Your theme for this week is to work on having this strength to control your ego. Don't let your ego drive this car this week, masculine or feminine energy. Whatever happens tonight, I need to really be in tune, be aligned. I need to feel into my intuition, who's driving the car, not trust my ego's fears, anxieties, or trying to glorify the self or any of that. I just need to trust in feelings I have of connection and love and pulling me towards my alignment, which will bring me to my union with my twin no matter what happens. So work on the ego, both of you, this week. It is the only thing keeping you from one another, right? And what do I have to work on? Lust, obviously, because that is one of the things that is motivating my energy to move into another connection, because I have not had sexual gratification in a very long time, and my cravings for physical intimacy is overwhelming me, right? So it's like, if I can't ever be with this person, I need to be with somebody, right? So I have to really work on those feelings, because I don't want to put that on the person that I'm interested in. This person, I've known this person for a few years. I really like them. I think they're incredible. If we look at the pattern, we have an epic friendship. I don't want to do anything to hurt this person or wound them because I'm carrying these fears and anxieties that are pushing me to run away from my person. I don't want to approach this person from a place of lust. I want to approach this person from a place of openness. Maybe they're my soulmate that's been put into my life. Maybe they're a karmic that I'm supposed to learn a lesson with. Or maybe they're just somebody that's going to end up being a friend of mine, and I'm not supposed to express this lust with them. I don't know. But my job is not to know. It's to trust the feelings I'm having in the moment, and to only trust my feelings, and to be able to tell the difference between my feelings that are from a higher power and the ones that are from the ego. And the best way to tell that is, does this seem like a loving feeling? Or does this seem like a feeling that is showing me that my thoughts are about my fear or about my self-aggrandizement? 10:44 on the clock. 4 people watching, 4 likes, 149.22. I'm heading out now. Go to pearlsprayers.com, book things, support me. I will be here tomorrow for the Tell Me Everything spread. I know you've all been dying for that since I did not do it yesterday. I do apologize, but I do hope you got a lot out of the new moon intention setting. If you didn't see it, you can go check it out. It gives you information about what intentions you might want to set for this next month of November. And there was a lot of information there about both sides of self. So I hope you enjoy that. And I will see you tomorrow and then probably Sunday, although I forgot to confirm with Grace Strega. So pay attention to my stories. Either you'll see me with Grace Strega tomorrow around noon or on Sunday around noon, and I will do Tell Me Everything on whatever day that I don't do Grace Strega. Okay. And that's, you like me. I'm a Pisces rising and I'm a Leo. And so I just do whatever the fuck I want all the time, whatever I feel. Okay. Sorry about it. Take care. Have a gorgeous day today. And I will see you tomorrow. Oh, and pray for me that tonight goes well. You know what I'm saying?